What the fuck, bro? I just watched the Suicide Squad. I just got back from the Suicide Squad. Oh my god, what the actual? Oh my, oh my god. Oh my god, oh god, bro. I feel sick. I feel sick. My heart is racing. I feel sick. Oh god, Jesus Christ. I feel sick. I feel sick. I feel sick. I want to throw up. I gotta throw up. I gotta throw up. So we got a new comic book film from James Gunn himself, The Suicide Squad, an R-rated raunchy DCEU film. I'm just ready to talk about this. Hey everyone, S-Dub Nation here. Welcome back to a brand new movie review here in the channel. Today I would like to stop and take the time to review The Suicide Squad. Please know that everything that I will say in this video is just my very own opinion. You are free to comment down below. What did you think of The Suicide Squad, James Gunn's newest comic book film? Like, comment, and subscribe. Please don't forget to check out that Twitter that's going to pop up on your screen right now. And with that being said, let's just get right into our review.
You're gonna risk the entire mission for a mental defective dressed as a court jester.
It's coming from a guy that wears a toilet seat on his head.
We don't leave one of our own behind.
Hopefully Harley's still alive.
No funny business, Colonel. These are dangerous people.
Team 2 is clear to go.
Fire up. 3, 2.
What are you guys doing?
Now, I had a blast with the trailers when they came out. I thought the DC fandom panel was one of the best ones there. And also the week leading up to the film, I just got even more excited. So with that being said, let's move right into the good. And the good thing that comes to mind here is that this feels like something James Gunn had full control over. I mean, from the first shot, like, you see that, oh my god. Well, not even from the first shot. I would say at least from that first little sequence in the beginning, you can definitely tell that this movie was going to be something different from the first Suicide Squad movie. This is going to be something different from what Marvel could ever do. So while I love his work with Marvel and Disney, I truly always believe that the DC project that James Gunn should have helmed or helm in the future is Suicide Squad. I think the Suicide Squad lends themselves well to James Gunn because he is great at taking these ragtag group of people and these misfits and making us appreciate their characters a little bit more. Taking these C-list characters like Polka Dot Man and Ratcatcher and Bloodsport and turning them into fan favorites. Not gonna lie, I think Polka Dot Man is cool now. Fight me on that. Polka Dot Man, I cared squat about him, but after this film, I love him. I love Polka Dot Man, but he did the exact same thing that he did with Guardians of the Galaxy, taking these misfits that we didn't even know and turning them into fan favorite household characters. And I feel like in a lot of households, Polka Dot Man might be juggled around a little bit. I feel like the squad finally lives up to their name and purpose in this film. One of the reasons why I love the animated film Suicide Squad Hell to Pay is the fact that, yeah, there are deaths, there are consequences to the squad's actions. Not all of them live throughout the film. So I like the fact that they did the exact same thing kind of how they did inside of Suicide Squad Hell to Pay. They also kind of took the route of Justice League Dark Apocalypse War. There are some deaths inside of this film. They happen throughout the film. So you are going to kind of feel that similarity between this and Justice League Dark Apocalypse War if you have seen that animated film. The movie has awfully gory, disgustingly beautiful, bloody action, and it just ups the stakes for me. When I'm watching the film, I'm on the edge of my seat. I felt tension throughout the entire film because I didn't know which character was going to live, which character was going to die. From the posters, I can tell that I shouldn't get that attached to these characters. I mean, that's what one of the posters said at the bottom of the poster. Don't get too attached. So I feel like that's what you should do going inside of this film. And I think it just made the film all the more enjoyable for me. The fact that I was on the edge of my seat because I never feel that way with Marvel films, except for if I was watching Infinity War for the first time. But this is Suicide Squad. This is James Gunn coming from Disney, getting fired from Disney, coming over to DC to do a Suicide Squad film that's rated R, that I already know is going to be bloody. I already know that it's going to kind of be offensive. I already know that it's going to be funny. I never thought that I was going to have tension inside of the mix. I never thought that I was going to feel actually scared for these characters throughout the entire movie. And honestly, the R rating does count here. The R rating makes a big difference here because I don't even think in PG-13 King Shark eating people, I don't think they would have been able to do that. And I think it's great that they show King Shark eating people because he's King Shark. Of course we want to see him eat people and bite people's heads off. The comedy also worked well for me. Usually the comedy in comic book films are hit or miss for me. I mean, in some comic book films, especially Marvel movies, their comedy has been lacking a little bit. I find that the Guardians movies and Thor Ragnarok, those are the funniest of the MCU films, and also Spider-Man Far From Home is very funny too. But I just don't see myself laughing at those films anymore. With this movie, from the first, like, literally in that helicopter sequence with Blackguard and Captain Boomerang, I was cracking up throughout this entire film. The comedy worked so well for me, and I think it's because they let James Gunn do a lot more of his shtick, so he was able to be a little bit more raunchy, a little bit more R-rated, and go over the top with it without trying to be limited by the guidelines of Feige and Disney and Marvel, try to keep it PG-13 and family friendly. But I just gotta say, the comedy inside of this film had me cracking up throughout. James Gunn, in every comic book film he has ever done, I just laugh and have a great time with. WB delivered on their promise by giving James Gunn full creative control to create this big, flamboyant, loud, bright, colorful, bloody, gory, disgusting film that is The Suicide Squad. And it's all great. I have many minor problems with this film. I love the heartfelt moments inside of it. I have seen the film twice now. And on my first watch of it, I gotta say, I didn't really see the heartfelt moments as much. I saw the action, I saw the blood, I heard the jokes, I got the story, all of it. But I didn't really feel the heartfelt moments until my second rewatch. And when I seen those heartfelt moments, it made it a lot clear that this is more than just a bloody action movie. James Gunn has done it once again by taking these characters that are essentially raunchy, that are essentially misfits, like I said in the beginning, but they have heartfelt moments. Bloodsport with his daughter, Harley Quinn and her relationship troubles. All of it works for me. King Shark wanting a friend, Ratcatcher 2 and her father. I think all of that worked for me because now since I'm watching it on a second time and I know where these characters end up at, I can see that these are really great moments for these characters. I also love the new characters inside of the mix. I think even though Weasel killed like 27 children, I wouldn't mind giving the guy a high five. Not gonna lie, I wouldn't mind giving the guy a high five. James Gunn also was able to take some obscure characters like Polka Dot Man and like Mongol and Blackguard and make them into hilariously fun new characters. I thought their characters were just great. Like, their roles inside of this film are just amazing to me. But with that being said, let's move right into the mix. And the mix scene that comes to mind here is that the runtime on my first viewing felt very long. And even though the film is 2 hours and 12 minutes, I felt like the movie was 3 hours. It felt very long for me. And I think one of the reasons why I think this is because it has a very unreliable narration throughout the film, and that is a positive for me. I thought it filled in a little bit more of the blanks, but it also helped with the overabundance of characters. 17 characters inside of this film. So I thought that having a scene that happened and then we will flash back to 8 minutes earlier was a great way to do that. But it just felt like we were going back and forth on my first viewing. And it felt like the runtime was very long to me. Even though on my first viewing, I very much enjoyed that part of storytelling, I think the reason why I think that the runtime was very long is because of that unreliable narration. Also, there are major deaths in this film. While they are a good for me, like I said in my good, I couldn't help but feeling sick and all around shocked by them, especially when the movie ended. I kind of felt sick and uneasy and very shocked by it and very shaken up by the end of it about how this is an entirely different change from a guy that I know coming from Disney. I know he came from Trauma. This is exactly like his stuff from Trauma. But this is a guy that came from Disney. This is a guy that I know doing the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. I had to at least get used to all of the blood and carnage by the end of it. And also the villain Starro, though I really did like what they did with the villain. I thought that the concept of him was great. I thought that the execution of him was great. I thought that the execution of his powers were great. I thought the whole entire reveal of him was great. I even thought that his character arc, like his villain motivation, was pretty great. And though he has a presence throughout the film, he's mainly just a third act big bad. And also, at the end of the film, I kind of compared the two tones of this one and the first one, and I gotta say, I kind of appreciated the tone of the first one a lot more. That's not a bad thing or a good thing, it's just a mixed thing for me. In conclusion, James Gunn delivered us The Suicide Squad, a bloody, R-rated, fun, enjoyable, heartfelt, bonkers, weird, action-packed comic book film that is definitely an improvement over the original. From the action to the characters to the moments to the comedy, James Gunn takes these weird, obscure characters and make us care about them. In the end, he takes all of these characters, put them inside of their own film, and just have a ball with them, just go all out and be bonkers and raunchy. James Gunn takes this franchise and this universe into new, bold directions that Marvel and Disney would never think of doing nowadays. And after 2 viewings of this film, I'm still very shook about it. This is James Gunn Unleashed. I can't wait to see what more he does with the DC universe. I can't wait to see what he does when he returns to the DC universe. And frankly, I'm a little bit more excited for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And again, after 2 watches, I don't even know if I really like this movie or just flat out love it. Because there are moments inside of this film I just flat out love. And then there are some moments that I really like. For right now, I'm going to give The Suicide Squad an A+ and a 9.7 out of 10. And I would say definitely check this film out in theaters. It's worth the watch. It is just so great. It's so much fun. It's so enjoyable. Just definitely check this film out. James Gunn does a great job with these performances. He makes John Cena look like a really good thespian in the end. Idris Elba is always pretty great. And Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn shines once again as her respective character. I just gotta say, matter of fact, I love this film. I loved The Suicide Squad. Alright guys, that is it for the review. Please note that everything that I did say in this video was just my real opinion. You're free to comment down below. What did you think of James Gunn's The Suicide Squad? Also, please note, throughout this whole entire recording of the video, I did find a new love for The Suicide Squad. I love The Suicide Squad now. And originally in my mind, I thought to myself, I just really like this movie. But now I gotta say, I loved what they did with this film, and I can't wait to see what James Gunn does in the future. Please don't forget to check out that Twitter. They're gonna pop up on your screen right now. Don't forget to check out that link down in the description below to the regular podcast and also to my DC playlist. And also, please don't forget to come back in the next coming days where I am gonna be doing a ranking of the DCEU films. With that being said, I will see you all next time. Peace.